I kind of want to pop the Echo Pop straight into the bin. Where does the Echo Pop fit into Amazon's ecosystem? I don't really get why they've made this product. Supposedly, it sounds better than the Echo Dot, although the marketing isn't quite as obvious as I'd like. It says it's got a full sound, but that might be because the Echo Pop is a more directional speaker. But today I'm going to take a look at it, give you my impressions on sound and compare the two, and tell you my thoughts on the Echo Pop. Let's get it open. Starting off with the Echo Pop. It really does look like they've just chopped this in half. Is it about... It might be a smidgen bigger? I don't know. But it's an odd looking device. Actually, saying that, it's not as odd as the original completely spherical Echo devices like the Echo Dot, 5th Gen and the Echo Standard. It's a bit more kind of natural. You've got directional sound coming from one side only, which means that in theory could give a more full sound throughout an entire room. If it's in a corner or a side, I don't know. But it doesn't feel as weighty as this. This is much weightier, which doesn't bode well for sound. Quite often devices need to be heavy to get a good kind of bass and good sound and stay stationary at louder volumes. So let's get it plugged in. It's a short cable. I've always been annoyed by this. Ever since Amazon transitioned over to integrated cables, the things they supply you with are just too short. I like the old style where you actually had a bit of flexibility of how long a cable you used. It meant that you could put the actual plug in different places underneath cabinets and stuff and not have to worry about the length of the cable. Instead, now I'm sat here thinking, where's my nearest plug? Also to point out, actually the only connector on this device is the power input, which is a bit of a shame, and I'll come to why very, very shortly. Right, let's see what this does. Okay, so we haven't got the typical Amazon Echo Ring anymore. It's simply just a little icon at the top here. This to me is very, very similar to an Echo Flex. It's just a little bit larger. Hopefully sound a bit better too. But even when the Echo Flex came out, I was a bit kind of confused to why Amazon were making such a product. But Paul Hibbert from Hibbert Home Tech did convince me eventually that the Echo Flex was a good device. There we go.
Hello, your device is ready for setup. Just download the Alexa app and follow the instructions.
Hallo, dein Gerät kann jetzt eingerichtet
werden.
Oh
God.
Lade dazu die Alexa App runter und folge den Anweisungen. Bonjour.
This always annoys me.
Téléchargez l'application Alexa et suivez les instructions.
It's always annoyed me, that part of the setup where it just blurts out every single language under the sun. It should know automatically the language that I speak based on my Amazon account preferences, which it already knows because it sets itself up automatically. So it should know, okay, well, he speaks British English. I might as well give him just British English instead of spewing out devil noises for 2.5 minutes. Paul convinced me that the Echo Flex was actually a great product, and I did warm to the idea of the Echo Flex. It was a cheap, cheerful device that was meant to go in places where you might not have something like an Echo Dot. So let's say your garage, or in my case, mine's in my workshop, where it's going to get dirty and mucky, and it doesn't matter because it's completely plastic, it can wipe down, and it means ultimately I can use it in places where I just don't want to spend so much money on something that could get destroyed. This, however, it could get destroyed because you've got kind of got that same material as the outside of this, although it is a bit more wiped down, and it takes up loads more room as well, so it can't just go on a counter like mine in my workshop. This actually has to have a bloody great big cable and has to sit out somewhere. So I'm sort of a bit of a loss. It's not an Echo Flex, it's not an Echo Dot, it's half an Echo Dot. But let's try the sound before I go any further. Let's see if it is any better than the Echo Dot in terms of its music capabilities. Okay, we're on about half volume now. Let's turn it up a bit. Still got the buttons on the top. I think anything over sort of 70% volume, it starts to become very flat in its audio. It's not too bad at the mid though. Right, let's play side by side and then you'll be able to hear the difference between the two. Instantly, I can tell that this is better. Instantly. It just isn't as rich and as full as the Echo Dot. It really, really isn't, which is a bit of a shame considering that they're kind of pushing this as something with really full sound. It might be marginally better at throwing out the sound in a particular area just simply because of the fact it's directional. So there is that, but in terms of actual sound, I just genuinely don't think it's as good as their Echo Dot. But there is one consideration to make, and that's the price difference between these two devices. This will currently set you back about £50, and I think that's on discount. Sorry, £40 on discount, and normally it's £54.99. Whereas this, the Echo Pop, costs $44.99. Wait. That's more at the moment than the Echo Dot. Well, that makes things even more confusing. It just doesn't make any sense because intrinsically speaking, at the moment, spec-wise, they're very similar in terms of their functions. They both connect to the Amazon app and they both allow you to create automations and run your smart home like Amazon Echo devices have been doing for years and years. So there's no difference there. They both act as an Eero mesh network device, which means you can create whole house Wi-Fi over a mesh network. This has temperature built in. This doesn't. So this sounds worse. It doesn't have a temperature sensor and it's more expensive. Maybe Paul can convince me otherwise like he did with the Echo Flex. But in this particular case, I just cannot fathom it. I mean, I guess if we were to ignore the discounted price of the Echo Dot and just looked at the overall price of both of these devices, so 54 versus 44, it would be a little bit better of a deal. And I guess as well, you've got to consider that this has been out for a year now, whereas this is brand new, so this obviously isn't going to be discounted. But one thing that I've noticed over the years, and probably you guys have noticed too, is that Amazon typically price their Echo devices so that they can heavily discount them during Prime Day sales. And I wouldn't be surprised if during Prime Day we see this at under 35. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this at £25. And at £25, I actually think it's probably a spot-on deal. The sound is probably worth about £25. So it's probably worth a bit more than £25, but not much more. But the fact that it works as an Eero mesh network system is awesome. However, going back to the point I was making earlier, this doesn't have Ethernet capabilities. It's only got DC connection, which is annoying. For me, I've always liked to hardwire my mesh network directly in to the network around the house. And I know that seems a bit convoluted because mesh networks are supposed to work through Wi-Fi and create a mesh over the Wi-Fi, but there's no harm in actually creating a mesh over direct cabling to a parent node as well. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about here with mesh networks are a fantastic way of basically increasing your whole house Wi-Fi speeds. But either way, I just find this product so perplexing. It's not that I hate the Echo Pop. I actually kind of quite like the new design. I think it looks nicer, kind of fits into more general aesthetics and doesn't stick out like a sore round thumb like the Echo Dot. But at £5 more currently, if we ignore the RRP and potential discounts, at £5 more than the Echo Dot, it makes no sense whatsoever because it isn't as good a sound, it doesn't have built-in temperature. I just don't really understand where the hell it's supposed to fit in. Do let me know what you think of the Echo Pop. Echo Pop. Not even sure I like the name. But do let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to check out my review or my opinions on the Echo Dot, the new one, do head over to the links in the description below. I'll drop that there and just up there for you as well, so you can check that out. It's definitely worth taking a look at a more in-depth opinion on this device. But totally, in summary, this sounds better, it's got built-in temperature, and it costs £5 less. I think you know what to do. I know it's been a quick one, guys, but I will see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.